Storytime ringing. My family has owned and run the local morgue for the last 4 generations. I know it might seem weird, but I've been in and out of the morgue my whole life, so it's pretty normal to be around death for me. My dad has been training me to do this since I could walk, and up until a week ago, I couldn't wait to take my place in the family business. But something happened that I just can't shake. It's around the holidays, and it's always sad enough when people lose loved ones during this time. So my dad is always trying to do things to make work less sad. This year we decorated every inch of the morgue because we had way more bodies than we usually do. I usually go straight to the morgue after school, so I can help my dad with stuff and do my homework. We stay until it's time for dinner, and then we usually go home. On this one day, I went through my regular routine, but when I got home I couldn't find my homework sheet. I looked all over the place, and I finally accepted that I must have left it at the morgue. I had been in the morgue by myself at night before, so it wasn't a really big deal. We lived right next door, so all I had to do was walk over. But when I stepped out of my front door and looked towards the morgue, I got this heavy feeling in the pit of my stomach. I had never felt like that before, so I tried to brush it off, but as I got closer and closer, I thought I was actually going to be sick. By the time I unlocked the door, I was sweating even though it was freezing outside, but I kept telling myself I was fine. Then when I got inside, every hair on the back of my neck stood up, and then I heard it. Far in the distance there was a noise. I would hear it and then it would stop. That kept happening, so I couldn't ignore it. I started to move towards the sound because no one else should have been in the morgue after dark. I got closer and closer to the autopsy room, and the noise got louder and louder. I could still hear it when I reached out for the doorknob of the autopsy room, but as soon as I touched it, the sound just stopped. Out of nowhere, a wave of panic came over me that was so strong, I started having trouble breathing. I ran out of the morgue, forgot all about my homework, and I didn't even tell my dad what happened. The next day, I went to help my dad after school like I always do, and as I got to the door of the morgue, I could hear the same noise coming from the room. I thought I'd open the door and everything would make sense, but as I accepted what I was seeing, I could feel all of the color drain from my face. There on the toes of all the corpses were Christmas bells. As my dad closed the drawers, the bells were ringing.